Welcome back. We now turn our attention to the Ohangwena region, where the Namibia National Students Organization, better known as NANSO, has officially kicked off its Exam Readiness Campaign. Now, the initiative marks an important step, of course, in supporting learners as they prepare for the final examinations, while also promoting a forward-thinking approach to academic excellence across the country. Joining us to unpack the details of the objectives of this campaign is Kuundjuane Kavari, the Acting Secretary of Political Research and International Affairs at NANSO. Kunja, good evening, and thank you so much for being here.
Good evening. I'm very happy and glad to be here.
Well, let's start with a big picture, Kunja. What is the core objective behind NANSO's Exam Readiness Campaign? Why you chose to start it as well in the Ohangwena region?
I think it's very important. I think decentralization is very important. And that's why we decided this time we are moving out of Commerce and we are taking it to the Ohangwena region. And I think so that our regions can also see that each and every region has equal importance, and that access to proper exam is important all over the country.
Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the readiness campaign, as I mentioned, and the core objective with this.
I think that the main objective of this campaign is to ensure that schools are ready for their exams and that our learners are writing exams in the best and conducive environments. So I think it's very important that when they go and write, the environments are prepared in such a way that they are able to excel. And yeah, I think it's very important that learners excel in their exams. Therefore, ensuring that schools are ready, ensuring that infrastructure is properly ready is very important for us, because those are the small factors that sometimes also influence results. Yeah.
What are the interventions or activities planned under this campaign to help learners better prepare, as you've mentioned?
There's a lot of activities that we have prepared. We are looking at having fun spelling bee quizzes. We are looking at having interactive session with the students. Also part of that is interacting with the students on opportunities that are there after school for the higher grades, and also just giving learners that how to prepare mentally for their exams. So those are some of the activities that we have lined up. Some of the things have to do with robotics. So just putting a little bit of excitement before exams to get rid of that anxiousness, and so that when learners go to exam, they go in there with positive mindsets, believing in themselves, and that's very important for us.
Yeah, 100%. Now, beyond the exam preparation, NANSO mentions a future-focused approach in its messaging. Explain to us what that means in practical terms for the learners as well as the educators.
I think for us is looking at, when we are doing these assessments, we are looking at a future-focused approach, as to say that come the next exams, how do we tackle these issues that we have found now? And I think NANSO currently is very big on finding innovative ways in order for us to excel excellence. And that's very important for us, that when we go there, we look at, is there proper computers in place? Looking at, if there isn't that, so in the future we need to ensure that there is proper computer facilities available, especially when we are talking of our AS and grade 11 learners, who sometimes need to use the internet to find resources for them to be able to excel in their exams. So we are really looking at a future-focused approach, and not only focusing on perhaps what has gone wrong or what is going wrong, but looking at how do we better this thing.
Off the back of what you've just said, Namibia does, though, continue to face challenges when it comes to, our education sector, and that is limited resources, like you've just mentioned an instance with the computers and gave an example there. But how does, NANSO intend to use this campaign to address or highlight some of the ongoing issues?
So what we plan to do is that once we have done the campaign over all 14 regions, we will compile a report which we then will engage all our stakeholders into. This is what we have found and these are the solutions we are looking at, because we believe that this kind of exam readiness campaigns also help us in advocacy, advocating for our learners, ensuring that they are able to excel. So the readiness campaign not only helps in ensuring that schools are ready for exams, but also helps in us getting data that we can use and that we can use to come up with a report and advocate.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to exams, you'll normally hear people saying that, you know, prep shouldn't start a week or two before
Yeah.
you actually write the exams, but you know, the earlier you start, the better. So looking ahead, how does the organization plan to sustain or expand the impact from this campaign beyond the exam season?
I think we normally do our Access to Education campaign, so that is also an assessment that we do at the beginning of the year. So this one is just to come ensure that what we assessed at the beginning of the year is still in place, and those challenges that were there, some of them we have addressed them. And as part of our Access to Education campaign this year, we had a renovation program going on. So I think that also in its own is a way of assisting in exams, that when learners go in these venues of exams that are well painted and so forth, you know, it helps.
It does.
It helps a lot, yeah. I mean, for an example, what we are saying is that if I'm writing an exam and I'm writing it on a table that's constantly not stable, that also plays a role in the outcome of 100%. My exams, because I'm constantly being distracted by this table. And so those are the little things that we sometimes don't take into consideration, but we are really going into detail when it comes to assessing these things, so that we ensure that our learners are really being given the best possible environment to write these exams.
Yeah. Well, finally, what message would you like to share with learners across Namibia who are currently preparing for their final exams?
I would like to tell them to have faith in themselves. It's very important to always have faith in yourself. Please, they must continue studying, they must use past question papers, and ultimately we are expecting to see good results from them because we believe in them and they are superstars.
What's your best study hack, Kuundja?
I think for me, I'm on the guilty side of things. But I think for me, it's always ensuring that I start a bit ahead of time and use a lot of question papers, because that prepares you in terms of what you might expect in the exams.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here this evening. We appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
We're going to take a brief break. We'll be back